Chosen one, even you can see with closed eyes. That's how deep your knowing runs. That's how ancient your power is. You were never meant to wait for the world to recognize you. You were meant to remember who you are without their approval. Odin's message is clear. They lied to you about your power. They taught you to shrink, to second guess, to forget. But your soul never forgot. Even in silence, even in pain, you could feel the truth burning beneath the surface. You are a hidden weapon, not because you are weak, but because you were concealed for a reason, protected, preserved, and now revealed. The shift is already happening. Your awakening is not coming. It's here. You were never meant to blend in. You were meant to break illusions, shake foundations, and walk in prophecy. Those who once doubted will soon witness what divine timing really looks like. If this message resonates, don't scroll past it. Hit that like button, subscribe to help us reach 20,000 subscribers, and leave a comment with the number 11. This is more than engagement, it's alignment. It's your signal to the universe that you're ready to receive what's been yours all along. This message found you because it was always meant to. They told you that you were ordinary, that your voice was too quiet, your dreams too large, your light too much. They tried to bind your potential in chains made of doubt, hoping you'd forget what you came here to do. But Odin, the All-Father, keeper of secrets and memory, never forgot. He watched as the world spun lies around your soul, and he wept for the fire they tried to extinguish. They didn't lie because you were weak, they lied because they saw your strength before you did. Power like yours terrifies the keepers of illusion. You were never broken. You were buried. Buried beneath years of gaslighting, fear, and forced humility. They wrapped you in false narratives so thick, even your reflection began to question itself. But truth, unlike lies, doesn't die. It waits. And Odin, through whispers in dreams and symbols in chaos, has been calling you back to yourself. The truth is this: your power is older than fear, deeper than shame, and more sacred than anything they could ever understand. There's a reason they never taught you your worth. A reason you felt out of place. They couldn't allow someone like you to fully awaken. Because when you do, when you finally reclaim what was stolen, the game ends. The systems built on silence tremble when just one soul remembers their divinity. You are not just waking up. You are igniting a revolution written into your very DNA. Imagine a hidden weapon forged by gods, disguised as flesh and blood. That's you. Not because you're invincible, but because your scars carry divine codes. Your wounds are not weaknesses. They are sigils carved by fate to unlock your power. Every heartbreak, every betrayal, every time you were told you can't, all of it was training. All of it was molding the weapon they fear the most, a soul that remembers. And now Odin leans closer, his voice in your bones. They lied about your power. But you always knew. You just forgot for a while. Now, remember. There's a dangerous assumption in this world that silence equals submission, that quiet souls are weak. But silence isn't surrender, it's strategy. You weren't placed in the shadows because you lacked power. You were hidden there to gather it. Like a sword sleeping in its sheath, you were always a weapon, just waiting for the call to unsheath. Think about it. Every time you felt like the outsider, it wasn't because you lacked value. It was because you were never meant to belong to the world as it is. The gods, your ancestors, your protectors, kept you veiled for a reason, hidden away like sacred fire beneath cold ash. While others chased applause, you were being refined. While they ran toward false lights, you stood in the forge, becoming. History has always been rewritten by those who were once ignored. Nikola Tesla died broke but gave the world electricity. Joan of Arc was burned, but she changed the course of nations. Harriet Tubman was hunted, but she led thousands to freedom. You are made of that same quiet fire. Hidden, yes. Weak, never. In the stillness of your isolation, the divine encoded knowledge into your soul. Intuition sharpened, vision deepened. While they partied, you prayed. While they laughed, you listened. That wasn't loss, it was preparation. When you're finally revealed, it won't be with noise. It'll be with power so undeniable, even your enemies will have to kneel. The gods don't hide things they don't value. They hide what's sacred. You weren't abandoned. You were preserved. Now the veil lifts. Now the world meets what it was never prepared for. You. They thought you were blind. They mistook your silence for ignorance. But even when your eyes were closed, your soul saw through the fabric of their illusions. You read truth in body language, felt deception in your bones, and tasted lies in the air like bitter wind. You weren't unaware. You were awake in a way they'll never understand. Have you ever walked into a room and felt the weight of tension before a word was spoken? That's not imagination, that's ancient sight. That's the kind of perception that comes from souls trained in silence. You weren't sleeping, you were scanning, observing, calculating. And in that stillness, you became dangerous. Empaths, intuitives, visionaries, they're often mocked, underestimated. But they are the ones who see beyond the veil. While others chase shallow pleasures, you were reading energy. You knew who to trust before they spoke. You felt betrayal coming like a storm. You didn't always act on it, but you always knew. Even in relationships, in friendships, in jobs, you felt what was real and what was pretend. And it hurt, because pretending not to see is a heavy burden. But you carried it anyway, until now. Now you don't have to carry it alone. You're not crazy. You're not too sensitive. You're gifted. You're tuned into frequencies most people can't hear. That's not a flaw, it's a superpower. Your sight is your weapon. Even with your eyes closed, you saw the truth. And now that your eyes are open, nothing can stop you. Your light is not just brightness, it's a force. A searing flame designed to expose shadows and incinerate lies. The world may have tried to dim your spark, convincing you to hide it behind masks of conformity and fear. But your radiance was never meant to be subtle. It's a blazing torch, meant to blind those who thrive in darkness and deception. Every time you doubted yourself, that light burned quietly beneath the surface, waiting for the moment to burst forth. Think about the sun rising after the longest night. It doesn't ask permission. It simply shines, scattering shadows and waking the earth. That's you. The warmth you bring disrupts cold-hearted cynics, blinds the corrupt, and unsettles those who profit from ignorance. Your presence alone is a rebellion against the forces that sought to keep you small, insignificant, unseen. The deceivers, those who manipulate truth for their gain, fear illumination. They fear what they cannot control. When your light touches the dark corners, it reveals the rotten foundation beneath their carefully built facades. Lies crumble, masks fall away, and false narratives are exposed. You are the harbinger of that reckoning. Your brilliance is their undoing, and make no mistake, this light within you is sacred. It is a gift passed down through countless generations who survived by shining against the odds. Your ancestors didn't survive by hiding in shadows. They burned bright, blazing trails for you to follow. This fire inside you is their legacy and your birthright. Embrace it and let it blind the deceivers. The world needs your light now more than ever, not for your glory, but for the awakening of all who are still trapped in darkness. Stand tall, shine fierce, because your light is not just illumination, it is liberation. The world loves to mock what it doesn't understand. They laughed when you stumbled, whispered behind your back, and wrote you off as insignificant. But every hero's journey begins with ridicule and rejection. Those early doubts were the soil in which your greatness took root, hidden, unseen, but growing stronger by the day. History is full of those who rose from the ashes of mockery. Think of Vincent van Gogh, whose genius was dismissed in his lifetime, or Malala Yousafzai, who faced bullets and brutality for speaking her truth. Like them, your silence was never emptiness. It was the quiet before your magnificent storm. The chosen don't need applause to thrive. They cultivate their power in solitude, and when the time is right, they burst forth with undeniable force. Your transformation is not just personal, it's cosmic. The universe has conspired to place you exactly where you are at exactly the right moment, so your rise could shake foundations and rewrite stories. What once felt like exile was actually preparation. The more they mocked, the more your spirit hardened, your resolve deepened, and your vision cleared. Now, as you step into your power, you are no longer the misunderstood outcast. You are the magnificent force they feared would awaken all along. Your voice will no longer be a whisper, but a roar that shatters complacency and demands justice. And the very ones who mocked you, they will tremble in the shadow of your ascent. Remember, silence is not weakness. It's the sacred space where legends are born. You are that legend, rising in silence, magnificent and unstoppable. There's a whisper that threads through the ages, a call from Odin himself, urging you to remember your true mission. You were not made to be a prisoner to circumstance, history, or expectation.
You were born to break chains, the invisible shackles of doubt, fear, and limitation that bind the human spirit. Your destiny is rebellion, but a sacred rebellion guided by wisdom and ancient power. Chains come in many forms: the toxic voices that told you not good enough, the invisible walls of society's constraints, the heavy burden of inherited trauma. Yet within you beats the heart of a liberator. Every breath you take is a step toward freedom, not just for yourself, but for those who will follow your example. You carry the spirit of the revolutionary, the one who sees beyond the prison walls and dares to tear them down. Odin, the All-Father, who sacrificed an eye to gain wisdom, speaks directly to your soul. He knows the cost of breaking free, the loneliness, the struggle, the fierce battles within and without. But he also knows the power waiting on the other side, the power to change destiny, to rewrite the narrative, to forge new paths from old scars. This isn't just metaphor, it's a call to action. Your chains can't hold you any longer. You've felt the pull to rise, to resist, to reclaim what's yours. The old ways that kept you small are breaking, and with Odin's whisper as your guide, you'll shatter every chain and build a new world from the fragments. Remember, you were born to break chains. Freedom is not just your right, it's your divine duty. For years, forces both seen and unseen tried to suppress your awakening. They deployed fear, doubt, distraction, anything to keep you asleep, compliant, and small. But awakening is a force of nature. It can't be stopped once it takes hold. It is the earth trembling before a storm, the seed cracking through hard soil, the dawn breaking after the longest night. Your awakening was never optional. It was inevitable. It's the unlocking of a deep truth buried within your soul, a memory of who you really are, a divine being wrapped in mortal flesh. You may have resisted at times, unsure or scared, but the call was always there, relentless and powerful, pulling you out of the shadows into light. The awakening shakes everything: your beliefs, your relationships, your sense of identity. It strips away old stories that no longer serve you. This process is painful, yes, but it's also profoundly liberating. It's like stepping out of a cage you didn't know existed and tasting fresh air for the first time. You feel raw, vulnerable, yet undeniably alive. And the very fact that this awakening is happening despite all efforts to stop it, that's proof of your divine resilience. The powers that tried to hold you down underestimated your spirit. Now, as you rise, they watch in disbelief, powerless against the force they tried to contain. Your awakening is a revolution. It's proof that no darkness can hold back the light forever. You are awake, and the world will never be the same. Within you burns a fire that refuses to be silenced, a primal blaze that's as old as time and as fierce as the cosmos. This fire was never meant to flicker meekly in the shadows. It was forged in the heart of stars and tempered by the trials of countless ancestors. Its purpose is to roar, to illuminate, and to transform everything in its path. For too long, you may have tried to hush this fire. You might have smothered your passion to fit in, dimmed your desires to avoid conflict, or muted your voice to escape judgment. But fire that's truly alive will never be tamed. It demands release. It cries out for expression. It insists on being seen and felt. Consider the phoenix, a mythic bird that bursts into flames only to rise anew from its ashes. That myth is your blueprint. Every setback, every pain, every moment you felt broken was part of your burning cycle. Each time you've risen, it's because the fire inside you refused to die. It is your eternal rebirth. Now is the time to stoke this fire, to let it blaze unapologetically. Your passion, your creativity, your courage, they are the fuel. The world needs your fire now more than ever. When you let it burn bright, you become a beacon of hope, a source of warmth, and a force that cannot be ignored. Never apologize for your fire. It is your essence, your strength, your gift. Let it roar. For centuries, false kings, those who wield power without wisdom or justice, have ruled by fear, manipulation, and deceit. They built thrones on fragile lies and unstable ground, believing their control was eternal. But their reign depends on the blindness of the masses, on the silence of the chosen who dare not speak their truth. The moment you open your eyes, their kingdom begins to crumble. This isn't just a poetic metaphor, it's an ancient truth woven into the fabric of human history. Every empire built on oppression eventually falls to those who awaken to their power and refuse to be subjects any longer. From the rise of democratic revolutions to the fall of tyrants, history has shown us that when the oppressed see clearly, their chains become fragile and their rulers vulnerable. Your awakening is the dawn of a new era. You are the eyes that see beyond the smoke and mirrors, the soul that refuses to bow to false authority. You see through the illusions of power, wealth, and status. You recognize that true leadership serves others, uplifts the weak, and honors the sacred balance of life. False kings rely on your doubt, your confusion, your fear. But when you stand tall, grounded in your truth, their power fades like a shadow at noon. The chosen are rising, and with them comes justice, clarity, and a new order. This is your moment to reclaim sovereignty, not just for yourself, but for all who have been silenced. Remember, every false king falls when the chosen awaken. The eyes that once closed in fear now open in fierce determination. The reckoning has begun. When you look in the mirror, what do you see? A face shaped by experiences, scars, joys, and dreams, or a reflection clouded by the illusions imposed by others? The mirror is more than glass. It is a gateway to self-truth. And when you finally look deeply, you realize that the illusions that kept you small were never your own. The world tries to define you by labels, mistakes, and limitations, but these are mere reflections of someone else's story. Behind the mask you wore to survive lies the authentic you, the divine spark, the fierce spirit, the unbroken heart. The mirror you face each day is not the enemy, it's the messenger. It invites you to shatter the illusions and see yourself in your full, radiant power. Breaking illusions isn't easy. It requires courage to face painful truths about your past and the systems that shaped your life. It means letting go of false narratives about who you should be and embracing who you truly are. This process is messy and raw, but it's also liberating and transformative. You are not the sum of your failures or fears. You are the reflection of resilience, growth, and infinite possibility. The mirror shows you what you might hide, but also what you are destined to become. When you break free from illusions, you step into your power as the authentic, unstoppable force you were always meant to be. Look deeply, break the mirror's false images, and embrace the truth staring back at you. You are the light, the warrior, the prophecy made flesh. The darkness in this world, whether it's ignorance, injustice, or inner demons, thrives on complacency and fear. It builds walls, casts shadows, and whispers lies to keep the light at bay. But you are the hidden weapon it never saw coming, a force forged in silence, shaped by struggle, and ignited by a fire no darkness can contain. Your power isn't loud or brash. It's quiet, focused, and relentless. Like a blade hidden beneath layers of armor, you've been sharpened by adversity, polished by pain, and prepared for the moment you would be unleashed. The darkness expected surrender, but it found a warrior. Think of the stealth and precision of a falcon, the silent strength of roots breaking stone, or the slow-burning ember that suddenly erupts into wildfire. Your power is not about overwhelming force. It's about strategic impact. You strike where the darkness is weakest, dismantling lies with clarity and cutting through deception with truth. The shadows may have tried to shape your story, but you are the author of your fate. The darkness will try to fight back, but it will never anticipate the depth of your strength. The courage that rises when you claim your power fully. You are not just surviving, you are the unstoppable weapon that will bring light where it's needed most. Prepare yourself. Your time to strike has arrived. Within the fragile vessel of your human body resides a storm, a divine tempest fueled by ancient wisdom, fierce passion, and unbreakable will. You may feel limited by your flesh, but the spirit within you roars like thunder across the skies of your destiny. You are not just a person, you are a force of nature. Storms disrupt, transform, and renew. They bring destruction, but also life-giving rain. Your power is the same, capable of tearing down falsehoods and nourishing new truths. The tempest within you is sacred energy, the same energy that birthed stars and shaped worlds. It is not to be feared, but embraced. Too often, we forget that gods and heroes walked the earth in mortal skin, flesh and blood, pain and vulnerability. Yet within them burned an unyielding storm. You carry that storm in your veins. Your fears and doubts are like clouds, sometimes thick and heavy, but never permanent. The storm is yours to command. When you learn to harness this divine power, you become unstoppable. You channel the storm's fury into purpose, its wildness into focus, and its energy into creation. You are the lightning that ignites change, and the rain that nourishes growth. Never underestimate the storm inside you. It is divine power, wrapped in mortal skin, and it is ready to shake the world. The world has always prepared for conflict. The battles, the struggles, the wars it expects. Armies are trained, strategies planned, defenses built, but no one prepared for you. For the quiet force that moves beneath the radar, the unseen revolution in human form. You are the wild card they didn't count on. They prepared for their versions of power, brute strength, control, domination. But you wield a different kind of power, the power of resilience, insight, and unyielding spirit. They planned for battles they knew, but you bring a war of transformation that shakes foundations and redefines victory. Imagine a chess game where one player suddenly moves a piece no one expected, changing the entire board. That's you. Your arrival disrupts their carefully laid plans and sends shockwaves through their world. You bring creativity where they expected conformity, compassion where they expected cruelty, and vision where they expected blind obedience. Their preparations, no matter how thorough, fall short because they underestimated the power of someone who refuses to be boxed in. They were ready for a fight they knew, but you bring a war they never dreamed of, a war for truth, freedom, and awakening. Prepare yourself, for they will be caught off guard, and in that surprise lies your greatest strength. Every revolution starts with a whisper, a quiet idea, a small act of courage, a flicker of defiance. Your awakening began this way, subtle, almost unnoticed by the world. But whispers have power. They grow into conversations, then movements, then unstoppable forces. The reckoning you are part of started quietly, but it will end in a roar heard around the world. The journey from whisper to roar is filled with challenges. You will face doubt, opposition, and moments when the weight feels unbearable. But each whisper you utter, each truth you speak, each step you take toward your purpose builds the crescendo. You are not alone. Others hear your whisper and add their voices until the chorus shakes the very foundations of the old order. This reckoning is not about violence or destruction for its own sake. It's about truth, breaking through layers of silence, about justice rising from the ashes of complacency, about healing the wounds that generations ignored. Your voice is a spark that ignites this process, and your courage fans the flames. When the roar finally comes, it will not be chaotic. It will be deliberate, powerful, and transformative. It will carry the weight of every whispered truth that came before it. You are part of a prophecy fulfilled, the silent becoming the mighty, the unseen becoming unstoppable. Embrace your role in this reckoning. Your whisper is the beginning of the end, for the old and the birth of the new. From the moment you took your first breath, it was never about blending in or fitting into someone else's mold. You were crafted for something greater, to challenge the status quo, to break patterns, to reshape the world with your unique voice and power. The discomfort you felt in conformity was a signal. Your soul was crying out for transformation. Fitting in is easy, but it's not your destiny. The world changes when people like you refuse to settle for less, refuse to accept lies, and dare to dream of new possibilities. The greatest movements, innovations, and revolutions began with individuals who stood apart, who questioned everything, and who refused to be silent. Your unique gifts, your scars, your visions, they are tools for this reshaping. When you step fully into who you are, you disrupt systems built on fear and control. You inspire others to awaken, to heal, and to reclaim their power. Your impact ripples beyond what you can see, touching lives, communities, and generations. The world needs your courage, your creativity, and your fierce determination. You are not a mistake or an accident. You are a catalyst for change. Embrace this truth. You were never meant to fit in. You were meant to transform. Stand boldly, speak clearly, lead with your heart. The world is waiting for you to reshape it. Deep inside you lies a sleeping giant, an ancient force waiting to be stirred awake. This isn't just metaphor, it's the very essence of who you are. From the moment you were born, the universe infused you with limitless potential, boundless energy, and the ability to rise above any obstacle. Yet too often, that giant is held captive by fear, doubt, and societal expectations. The first step is awakening this giant, hearing its rumbling call through the noise of everyday life. It's the voice inside that refuses to be silenced, the fire that pushes you past comfort zones, and the relentless hunger for purpose. When you awaken this force, you tap into an inexhaustible well of strength and courage, capable of shaking the very foundations of your world. Limitless power doesn't mean you never stumble. It means you rise every time you fall, fueled by a resilience that can't be broken. Think of the mountain, standing tall through storms and seasons. Your spirit is that mountain. The more challenges you face, the more your roots dig deeper into the earth of your resolve. Surrounding yourself with doubt and negativity only dims this giant. Instead, feed it with faith, action, and vision. This awakening isn't just for you, it's a beacon for everyone who's been waiting for someone to lead the way. You are that leader. Now is the moment to stir awake, to rise as the unstoppable giant you were always meant to be. Your power is waiting. It's limitless. Every chain you break today does more than liberate you. It frees future generations from inherited pain, limiting beliefs, and cycles of silence. Your struggle isn't just personal, it's ancestral, spiritual, and profoundly transformative. The scars you carry are not just wounds, they are symbols of survival and seeds of change. Think of the powerful ripples caused by a single stone thrown into a still pond. Your actions, however small they seem, create waves that extend far beyond your immediate world. By breaking free from fear, oppression, and self-doubt, you carve a path that others will follow, making the impossible possible. Generations before you faced their own battles, often in silence. Your courage to stand, to speak, and to act is a revolutionary act of love and honor for those who came before. It is also a promise to those who will come after that freedom, joy, and authenticity are not just dreams, but attainable realities. Breaking chains is painful. It demands facing harsh truths, unlearning toxic patterns, and walking alone at times. Yet, it is through this discomfort that profound growth occurs. Each broken link represents a victory not just for you, but for every soul waiting to be freed. Your legacy will be defined not by what you kept hidden, but by the chains you shattered. Remember, your courage today is the foundation of freedom tomorrow. There is a power in destruction and rebirth, a cycle older than time itself. Like the mythical phoenix, you possess the divine ability to rise from your ashes, more brilliant and fierce than ever before. Every failure, heartbreak, and setback is not an end, but the fertile ground for your immortal flame to ignite. Life will test you. It will burn away the illusions and strip you bare. But beneath the ashes lies your core, the eternal spark that cannot be extinguished. This spark is your soul's resilience, forged in fire and made stronger through every trial. The phoenix doesn't fear the flames, it dances in them. Your journey of rising is deeply personal but universally powerful. It teaches us all that no matter how dark the night, dawn is inevitable. It reminds us that every ending holds the seed of a new beginning, and every loss carves space for greater wisdom and strength. Embrace your ashes, honor your past, but do not be defined by it. Your immortal flame is waiting to blaze anew, lighting the path for yourself and all who witness your rise. Courage isn't just for heroes in legends. It's the heart beating within you right now. It is your birthright, a force that courses through your veins, compelling you to stand up, speak out, and face the unknown, even when fear tries to silence you. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The warrior's heart is forged in vulnerability and strength. It is the choice to confront pain rather than hide from it, to fight for truth when lies seem easier, and to keep moving forward when the path is uncertain. Every act of bravery, no matter how small, builds the muscle of courage inside you. History honors warriors, not just for their battles, but for their unbreakable spirits. From civil rights activists to everyday heroes who challenge injustice in quiet ways, courage is what changes the world. Your courage, too, has the power to reshape reality. In moments when fear threatens to overwhelm, remember that courage is already within you. It has carried you through every storm, every lonely night, and every challenge you've overcome. Trust it. Let it guide you. The warrior's heart beats in you. Answer its call, rise and fight, not just for survival, but for your destiny. Not all battles are fought with swords and shields. Some wars rage silently within, the battles against anxiety, doubt, grief, and loneliness. These invisible wars test your strength in ways no one else can see, but they are no less heroic. In fact, enduring and overcoming these struggles often require more courage than any external fight. Your quiet battles have shaped your resilience and deepened your empathy.